everybody? I'm Jay Shady and you're listening to the Voice of Reason. So before I go into this Raw review and talk about tonight's show, I like to preface this video and talk about something first. And this is the first video I've done since the announcement that the Ultimate Warrior passed away. So I'd like to take a moment here to offer my condolences to all of his loved ones, his family, and to just talk about the circumstances around this shocking and abrupt death. So he died the night after Raw last week. I mean, he had a hell of a weekend dedicated to him, devoted to him. A great weekend to build, renew bridges that have been broken with WWE, Hogan, Vince McMahon in particular, and it's very bittersweet. It's like beautiful but sad, this whole story. It's something like a movie, you know. He got to go out with one last bang, finally fix all these severed ties and this bad blood he had with the company. And right after that, the day after he dies, it's shocking. It really is. I remember when I first heard that he passed away, because there was a tweet from Triple H that said R.I.P. Ultimate Warrior. I was like, this is a hack job, because it sounded like one, because it just was the timing was just way too curious and way too peculiar for him to have died. But you look back now on his promo from last Monday's Raw, talking about how everybody breathes their final breath and their heart beats its final beat, and everything you've done lives on through the legacy of the fans and all that, and they become immortalized through that. It's very fitting, and it's almost kind of like he knew that something was up. Very prophetic and just eerie. Really eerie, but you know, it's very sad, but it's also, you know, hopeful, and you know, a good thing to see. Very bittersweet that at least he got to go out on a good note, which just makes you think, you know, they really have fucked up with Macho Man Randy Savage. You know, unfortunately, Macho Man did not have that luxury of getting a whole, you know, night, a whole weekend dedicated to him, to know how much he was appreciated before he went out. He just went out before they could even induct him, before he could ever come on Raw and hear how much the fans still love him. So, you know, it's good that the Ultimate Warrior got that moment. And, yeah, so I'd like to say rest in peace to the Ultimate Warrior, especially his daughters and his wife. Very sad. Not, you know, just losing a wrestling legend, but it's kids are losing their father. That's always a sad thing when you think about it into that perspective. It's just a person. It's sad when any person dies, you know. Anyway, let's talk about tonight's Raw. Very much just a holdover show. A holdover until next week, until things get back on track. So, you know, I can't really judge this show too harshly. It was boring and, you know, very uneventful, but I expected that, because, you know, it was on one side of it was an Ultimate Warrior tribute show, so you had to dedicate some of the time to honoring Ultimate Warrior, even though I would like to see even more of that. But also, Daniel Bryan is on his honeymoon. He married Brie Bella. They're on their honeymoon, so Daniel Bryan wasn't there tonight. So, you know, WWE didn't put a lot of things into motion, and that's kind of what you would expect going into this show. So I'm not gonna, you know, lose my fucking head saying this show was god awful. I mean, it was nothing good, but it was a holdover show. It was obviously a filler show, but it did start off very fucking great. You had the whole locker room come out, and good to see Vince McMahon. Good to see Vince McMahon there. We haven't seen him on WWE television in a while, but he comes out for this, and they give a 10-bell salute to Ultimate Warrior. Everybody starts chanting Warrior. Good to see, you know, Vince McMahon proud of, you know, his employee, and I could only imagine everything that's going through his mind, all this, you know, unnecessary, you know, feud and bad blood and anger against the person. You know, life is just too fucking short for that shit. It really is. So very emotional. I got choked up. I'm sure many of you got choked up during this moment, and very, very beautiful way to start off the show. One of the big things about tonight's show was we had a tournament for number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. I like that we have a tournament for a secondary belt. Um, Try to add as much prestige and importance as you can to an Intercontinental Championship because, it's gone through shit for the past few years. Intercontinental Championship hasn't meant jack shit. So have a tournament. Add some, relevance and importance to the title. I'm all for that. Tonight's show was pretty much all matches. You had one or two promos throughout the night. Hardly any forward progress of any storylines. So this is going to be a pretty short review because there's not a lot to talk about. Rob Van Dam versus ADR was a pretty good match to start off the show. Rob Van Dam advances to the next round for the Intercontinental Championship. Also, probably the best match, easily the best match of the night actually, was Bad News Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler. It's good to see that they're actually using Barrett as a wrestler now, not just the guy who does a bad news mic segment every other week on SmackDown or something like that. And a very impressive victory. Looks like they're at least trying to once again push Barrett. How long will it last? I don't know, but at least they're trying again. We'll see how long this one lasts. Barrett gets the victory, advances. You get Sheamus advancing. He had a match with Jack Swagger. And you get Cesaro advancing. He had a match with Mark Henry. A nice spot with Cesaro doing the neutralizer to Mark Henry. The only thing I'm very fucking curious about with Cesaro, he had Paul Heyman come out and cut a promo, basically just generating a lot of heel heat for being Brock Lesnar's advocate and for breaking the streak, getting all this heat, and then right after getting all that heat, he introduces Cesaro, and that's just very curious because isn't it supposed to be you're booking Cesaro as a huge babyface, yet you have Heyman cutting a heel promo, then immediately bringing out Cesaro? It just doesn't make sense. I'm very curious and concerned with this pitting of Cesaro with the heel Paul Heyman. It was a great moment last week, but it just now feels like, are they gonna make him a heel now? Or is he still gonna be a heel? Or is he babyface? I don't know where Cesaro is right now, and I think that kind of, has to be dealt with, has to be noted and talked about because I don't have a clear indication of what side Cesaro is on. And if you're gonna have Heyman cutting heel promos right before Cesaro comes out when Cesaro's supposed to be a babyface, it's not gonna fucking work very much. Another thing that was odd was Cesaro coming out to no music whatsoever. I guess they don't have a theme for him yet, but he wins the match and no music plays. So, let's see what they're gonna do with Cesaro, but they have to figure out, is he heel, is he babyface? And he definitely should be babyface, and in order for him to be babyface, Paul Heyman cannot be cutting heel promos right before he introduces Cesaro. It's a problem. It really is. You got a lot of kind of boring, not very good matches, some decent matches. The two best matches, like I said, were RVD versus ADR and not Cesaro. Bad News Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler. You had Ryback versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust, and I thought the Rhodes Brothers theme was fucking horrible with Goldust theme and Cody Rhodes theme being combined. It sounds like somebody's playing two different radios at the same time. It just doesn't mesh well. I thought that was bad. But holy fucking shit, Ryback's theme is fucking atrocious. You have Ryback's theme, bam, 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 and then you hear fucking Mr. Perfect's theme, bam, 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 and it's playing at the same fucking time. It's two different fucking genres of music. You have like a hard rock type vibe and like elegant type of classical vibe, and it just doesn't fucking mesh well at all. Horrible theme. You had the Usos versus Batista and Randy Orton. This was the big thing throughout the night, was reforming of Evolution. You had Triple H telling Batista and Randy Orton they have to start working together in order to take out the Shield. Batista and Randy Orton face off with the Usos. During the match, the Shield comes out from the crowd and starts beating up Batista and Randy Orton. Batista and Randy Orton run out of the ring, and it sets up for what happens later on in the night. Another big segment was John Cena and Bray Wyatt. You had the Wyatt family come out. Bray Wyatt is cutting a fucking masterful promo, as he always does. You know, being this prophet, being this messiah of the lost souls, this alternative to, the good guy, goofy bullshit. And then he tells John Cena that, it's time to get serious and all this, that he has him right on the brink where he needs him to be. And then John Cena comes out and just, it's one thing that the man doesn't take people seriously. I don't want to say that I could live with that because that's wrong, but whatever. I get it. That's fucking John Cena. He just doesn't take anything seriously. If he couldn't take his rivalry with The Rock seriously, why should I think he's going to take his rivalry with Bray Wyatt seriously? That's one thing. But when he makes the Wyatt family the butt of a bunch of childish jokes and tries to just, ruin their reputation as these, badass heels, these serious fucking heels, it's just ridiculous. It's horrible. It's just, it's unexplainable. It's bullshit. It really is. It's inexcusable. It just doesn't, John Cena talking about, Bray Wyatt being the eater, not the eater of the worlds, but eater of the world's most giant Cinnabon, and showing Bray Wyatt's family, and they all have photoshopped images of the Wyatt family. It's ridiculous. It really is. Talk about, let's all go out for happy hour and all this. Luke Harper could go streaking, and Eric Rowan could tell a bunch of jokes, and Bray Wyatt could be a ladies' man. It just brings down the character, the seriousness, their reputation, the Wyatt family. It's hard to take them seriously when you have John Cena, just talking like they're a bunch of fucking goofballs, just destroying their reputation. It just, it doesn't legitimize what the Wyatt family are trying to fucking do. And another thing, it makes John Cena come across as a fucking heel. This is the problem with John fucking Cena. He's bullying Bray Wyatt, calling him fat and all this shit. Just basically saying, they look like freaks, they're outcasts, they're not a part of society. You have John Cena, this smug fucking face on him, these smug fucking remarks, just not taking anything seriously. That's what a fucking heel is like. In the real world, John Cena is a heel. So it just doesn't fucking make sense to me. Nothing about John Cena's character makes fucking sense. That's why he will never be over the way WWE wants it to be over. And of course, WWE will say their bullshit of, well, love him or hate him, he always gets a reaction, and everybody is vocal about John Cena. But when you're supposed to be the face of the company, it's not about just being vocal. It's not about just getting a reaction. You're supposed to get a 100% positive reaction. Not 50-50. Not 60 negative, 40 positive. It's supposed to be 100% fucking positive. So I don't want to hear this bullshit. Well, he always gets a reaction at least. And the reason why he can't be 100% positive is because of the way his character is fucking made. He's a bully. He's a fucking heel. He's a smug motherfucker is all he is. So you get the announcement that it's going to be at Extreme Rules, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in a steel cage. Whatever, we'll see how this is. But, this promo it was the example. It exemplified, it personified everything that was wrong with John Cena. Just never fucking taking anything seriously. How are you supposed to get behind a babyface who just doesn't take anything seriously? Look at Daniel Bryan. Did he ever once you know, try to make the Authority look like a bunch of goofballs, you know, sell it like they were just a bunch of fucking jobbers. No, he got his ass kicked, and that's why it was so great seeing him win at WrestleMania, because he was the underdog. When it comes to John Cena, it's always his opponents who are the fucking underdog. That's the whole fucking problem. Alright. Then another fucking unfortunate spot I have to talk about. This is a little filler bullshit, but it was just sad how fucking Damien Sandow has turned into a legit jobber. A legit motherfucking enhancement talent jobber. He comes out and he's cutting a promo, and Big Show comes out for no fucking reason whatsoever and just KO punches Damien Sandow and walks away. I mean, why did you even fucking need this? It didn't do anything for the show. Why did you need to make Damien Sandow look as, you know, more horrible than he already looks? It's amazing. It really is. You know, this is what happens when an up-and-comer gets into a feud with John Cena. This is his future. You know, look at Damien Sandow, look at Dolph Ziggler, look at Zack Ryder, and, you know, if I'm Bray Wyatt, you know, I'm scared for my fucking future right now. I really am. And then you get your main event segment. You have, before this, Stephanie is talking to Kane, and she's trying to call out the big red monster, not this goofball in a suit that wrestles with dress pants and dress shoes. And it looks like he's going to put his mask on, so I'm supposed to be fucking excited that Kane's going to put his mask on for the 20th time. Like, putting on his mask is going to enhance his talent, you know, enhance his wrestling ability, and, you know, make him as good as he was 15 years ago. You know, unfortunately, that's not true. Fact of the matter is Kane is going to suck until the day he fucking retires, and that's a fact of life. Alright, so I don't care that he's putting his mask on. I don't give a fuck about Kane. Whatever he does at this point in his career. It's time to retire, along with fucking Big Show. Now we get to the main event segment. It's the Shield versus whoever Triple H picks. And basically, it's every fucking heel in the locker room. You have 3MB, Ryback, Titus O'Neil, Alberto Del Rio, just everybody. And you're looking at all these heels, Bad News Barrett, and you realize these are all the heels in the company, and they're all fucking jobbers. You know, it's very sad that every fucking heel is a jobber heel. It really is. Besides Randy Orton, Batista, every other fucking heel is a jobber. That's the, you know, that's the state of the company. Wyatt family aren't jobbers yet, but, you know, I don't want to speak too soon now that they're in a feud with Cena. But, that's it, you know? How about building some legit mid-card fucking heels? Anyway, it's 11 versus 3 in a match. The Shield versus 11 of these guys. And it turns into a beat down. All hell breaks loose. Shield gets some licks in, but of course they get beat down. Thank God they didn't have the Shield, you know, beat them all and then run away. It looks like some fucking Jackie Chan one against the world shit. Like John Cena. Thank God they had the Shield get beat down, because that's legit. That's how real life is. When it's 11 on 3, I don't give a fuck. The 3 are going to get beat down. And then you have officially the return of Evolution. The Evolution theme song plays, and Randy Orton, Triple H, and Batista come out. They're missing Ric Flair, but, you know, it's those 3. So they come down to the ring, they tell the other guys to get the fuck out, and they beat down the Shield. They give them like 19 fucking Batista bombs and all this, and the show ends with Evolution standing tall. So pretty good ending segment. You know, I do like rehashing Evolution, just as long as, you know, they're not going to be the ones who are, you know, controlling every fucking show. As long as they're there to push people like the Shield and Daniel Bryan. As long as they're there, you know, at Extreme Rules, to have the Shield go over Evolution, to say that the Shield beat Evolution, one of the greatest factions of all time. As long as they're getting together for that. Not if they're getting together to win tag team titles and to, you know, party like it's 2004 all over again. You know, as long as they do it the right way, I'm all for it. Good stuff. And I'm sure you're going to get some of these people saying, oh, Triple H and Batista and Orton buried the fucking Shield. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of the word burying, buried, and burial being used very fucking wrong and in the wrong fucking context. Apparently people don't understand what burying means. What it actually fucking means. Just because somebody is on the receiving end of a beatdown, they aren't dominant 1 week, does not mean they were fucking buried. Just because Triple H beats somebody up 1 week, they are not fucking buried. Alright? I heard this shit when Triple H was beating down Daniel Bryan. Oh, Daniel Bryan's getting buried, and now Daniel Bryan is the fucking world WWE heavyweight champion, okay? That's like, if you're gonna say that every time Triple H or Batista or one of them beats somebody up and that they're buried, that's like saying every time, Corporation got one up on Stone Cold, that they were burying Stone Cold. How would it look if the Shield or Daniel Bryan, week in and week out, just made Evolution and everybody else look like a bunch of fools? That would make them turn into John Cena. So do not even start. Get into the redefinition of what burying means and burials and buried. Understand these terms. Stop using them loosely. Stop using them under false pretenses, okay? That's what I gotta say about that. So, it was just a holdover show, a filler show. I'm not gonna complain too much because I did understand that I was going to get a holdover show tonight since Daniel Bryan was not there. And, they were paying respect to the Ultimate Warrior, so they probably, didn't do what they had in mind prior to all these, developments going into the show. But, it wasn't good or anything. Nothing to really check out here. Will be pretty forgettable down the line. Nothing like last week's show. But I understood it. I understood that was going to happen. So, I'm not going to get my, ranting all over the place. Even though I did do some ranting in this video. But, I'm not going to lose my shit, lose my cool over it. Alright, so there you go. Kind of show. I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.